All right, call heads or tails?
Tails.
Tails it is. You're going to kick, you're going to receive.
I'm going to receive, Doug.
All right, Gator, here we go, man. Aggressive Gator. Here we go. We just finished up the draft here. It was obviously a big success here locally for Detroit, but I didn't get to get you guys any opinions on the draft, post-draft, all that stuff, really. The big story of the draft was 6 quarterbacks were taken in the first round, right? When it's all said and done, though, who's going to be the best quarterback and who's going to be the worst quarterback?
So I looked at this and I thought my immediate reaction was short term. I think Caleb's going to be the best just because he's got the most to work with right now. He's got a ton of great receivers to work with. He's got running backs that can catch the ball in the backfield and carry the rock. And I think they're going to have some successes as winning some games because their defense is good too. But I really like Jaden Daniels best of that group. I said that going into the draft, and I'm going to stick with that. I think the worst, to me, is Drake May. He's got the least to work with, and I'm just not a fan of Drake May anyway. I'm not even sure if he's going to start from day one, so I'm going to put him as the worst.
I'm going to go all in with the situation that they are drafted into. By that, do they have competent people around them building a football team? And I don't think this is going to be reflected in year one. But of all the organizations and the people running them, the one that I like the most that took a quarterback, I'm going Sean Payton in Denver with Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix's numbers, and he's not my favorite quarterback. I think he's going into what, when it's all said and done, is going to be the best organization. And so I'm going to go with that organization, building a team around him that can be successful. And for the same reason, the bass-backwards Atlanta Falcons and Michael Penix. I like Penix as a quarterback actually better than Bo Nix, but I think it's so much dependent on the situation, and I can't believe what they've done. And I think that one's trending to be a mess. So I'm going Bo Nix most successful, Penix least successful.
So I'm going to start with my worst quarterback because of your answer, Doug. My worst quarterback out of this draft, I think, is going to be Bo Nix. And it's because I don't believe in Sean Payton. I was a Sean Payton guy until this whole Russell Wilson thing happened, and he couldn't make it work with Russell Wilson. Now, maybe Russell Wilson has some personality issues that kind of, conflicted with what Payton was looking for, but the guy was a hard worker and a winner, and all of a sudden he comes to Denver, and you can't work with him. You can't make it work. So I find that to be more on Sean Payton. In the end, we'll find out because Russell Wilson's no longer on the team and Sean Payton gets his quarterback. So because of that, I think Bo Nix is going to fail. It's more because I don't believe in Sean Payton anymore.
I do like that they added Troy Franklin, the receiver for Bo Nix from Oregon, to go there. I
like Troy Franklin, but still on Bo Nix to get him the ball and hopefully Sean Payton to coach him. But my best quarterback, I'm going to go with Caleb Williams. I think all 6 quarterbacks have a high bust factor, though, right? I think like Jaden Daniels, I think every time he takes a hit, he looks like it's a career ender. Drake May, you're not sure if he is good or not because he was at UNC. J.J. McCarthy didn't have the numbers on the field, so you're not sure if it translates. And Bo Nix, I just think maybe it was the system. Caleb Williams' bust factor is a lot of hero ball at USC. Can he play in a structured offense? Can he play with, it's one thing to play behind a bad offensive line in college, but you do it in the NFL, you're going to get killed out there. But I'll still go Caleb Williams if I had to pick best quarterback out of the 6. All right, the schedule did just come out, guys. What do you think, in your personal opinion, for you, is the best quote-unquote revenge game that you're looking forward to most?
So for the Lions, I assume we're talking about here, right?
No, it's for the NFL.
For NFL?
Yeah.
Okay. I've always hated I'm going with the Lions because there's one game in particular. I always hated the Cowboys, and I thought I'd do that. But the revenge game for the Lions, and probably the one that I'm most looking forward to, is the Packers messed up our Thanksgiving last year, and this game has ramifications above and beyond that, in that I want Jordan Love kind of take a step back. I'm hoping he doesn't go forward. So I am very much zoomed in on that first game against the Packers in Green Bay as a chance for the Lions to exact some revenge for messing up our Thanksgiving last year.
It wasn't the first play of the game a 43-yard pass.
It was bad.
It hurts. For me, I'm going to go with throughout the NFL. I'm looking at the Eagles-Giants matchups are going to be so much fun to watch. The Saquon Barkley switch from New York, running away from the wing helmet. Sorry, and the Montreal Canadian jerseys. Running away from that to go to Philadelphia. I mean, you don't do that. You can't do that. You don't do that. So that one's going to be really fiery, I imagine, and both sides are going to take it personally. Obviously, the Giants are the ones that were spurned, but that it screams intrigue to me.
Well, I'm going to go back to the whole Sean Payton ordeal. I got the Steelers at Broncos, and this is early, week 2, so it's still really fresh. Russell Wilson most likely will be the starter for the Steelers, and he better be for my personal revenge game I'm looking forward to. The whole Sean Payton thing I just talked about, the Russell Wilson thing. Sean Payton runs his mouth a lot. And it's one thing when you're working in TV, I like it, it's entertaining. But when you become a coach, you got to see these guys on the field. Maybe he physically doesn't have to see him on the field, but he's got to coach against them, so I can't wait for this game. All right, with Netflix getting in on the NFL action, word is it might be only a matter of time before we have a pay-per-view Super Bowl, guys. Realistically, what's your limit on how much you would pay to watch the Super Bowl before you had to go to like a viewing party or something?
All right, so this is tough because obviously with our jobs we have to watch it
course,
no matter what. So
yep.
I'm trying to take myself out of that realm. And for me, it really comes down to the matchup. I mean, if it's because there have been times when the Super Bowls come around, I don't even want to watch the game because I don't care about the teams.
Wow.
But by and large, I throw the number at $50. It's pretty arbitrary. Before I would have to go to a party and watch it, I guess, would be the other option there. But it really does, for me, without the job, it depends on the matchup of the game of how much I would be willing to spend.
You would miss out on the Super Bowl? All right.
I don't want to answer this question because I'm so vehemently against the idea of a pay-per-view Super Bowl that if I put any amount of money on there, I feel like I'm green-lighting the NFL to go ahead and do this. But you've put me in this incredibly awkward position, Khang, so I'm going to answer $59.99. If it gets much more than that, then I'm looking for a party situation. Because I'm not going to not watch. I wouldn't advise the NFL to put it at $59.99. If they are even considering this, I think they should start way lower than that.
Oh,
but that would be my limitation.
There's no way in hell the NFL would go less,
I might want to talk about this a little bit more as a topic because at some point I'm not happy with you.
Doug mad.
I'm just trying to look ahead here. Guys.
Even Doug know you can't hurt Pan.
So, yeah. So if I'm watching it at home, just me and the family by myself, $50. If it goes to 100, I invite a couple guys over. Anything over that, I'm going to a party, all right? I'll chip in, dip or whatever you want me to bring. So, drinks.
Toast points.
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you bring? Dip.
Yeah, but I have to watch the game. I'm not like you, Gator. I don't care who's playing. I got to watch. But there is a limit to how much I'm willing to pay for it on my own, though. All right, the NFL, they're very aggressive, as we know. They are going to take on the college football playoff head-on. That's right. This year, on Saturday, December 21st, the college football playoff round 1 will have 3 games. The NFL said, we don't care. We're putting a double-header on that game. It's Texans-Chiefs, followed by Steelers-Ravens. Who's going to win this battle, guys? Between the NFL and college football.
I mean, if the battle's measured by ratings, it's probably going to be the NFL. But this pisses me off, too. You are denying us access to football. I mean, sure, multiple TV situation, yeah, it's great.
That's not what you want.
But that's not ideal.
Nope.
Why is the NFL doing this? It's healthy for the NFL that college football is healthy and feeds them with a known product. What the F is this? I swear to God, like the NFL is really pushing us. And between these last 2 questions.
Doug's triggered.
Already.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we're not even 45 minutes into the show. Doug's off the rails. I'm sorry, Doug.
Go ahead.
But I agree with you. I mean, the NFL wins. They always do. That's the way that's going to be. And I hate it. I think it sucks. The fact that it's the first round of the college football playoff where you're not going to have the top teams playing further ensures that the NFL wins on that front. But, yeah, I'm with Doug 100%. Why are you competing with college football? Why don't we – college football is great, and actually it's started to piss me off with what they're doing with NIL and all this and the portal and then never having to sit out a year and all that stuff. But I can put that aside and say I still love college football. I don't want the two competing against each other. I love having one day as college, the next day is pros. That's how I'm wired, and that's what I want it to stay.
Yeah, but you got the NFL winning this battle.
Absolutely. NFL
right.
always wins.
All right, so the NFL never loses, but I think this one might be closer than you guys give it credit for. College football, when they do have the big ratings, it's the playoffs, right? I know this is the first round. You won't have maybe the greatest matchups, but it's still the first time the playoffs are with this many teams in it. I'll give the edge to the NFL, but I think it's closer than we think. All right, Tom Brady will make his regular season debut as an analyst week 1, Cowboys-Browns. How do you think he'll do?
I think he's going to be fine. I don't think he'll be great, but I think he's absolutely watchable. I think he's got more of a personality than people think. I think the roast was kind of a test run to see if he does have a personality, if he can show a pulse, and he absolutely did. So I think he's going to be fine.
This might surprise you, but I like Tom.
What?
I think this might be tough, though. This transition is more difficult than people realize. And my concerns with Brady, he was chosen more for his name recognition and celebrity status than for the personality and skill set that it would take to do this job. So I think this could be rough.
I think this is a better choice than doing the roast. I'm not sure you can get divorced twice when you're already divorced, but that wasn't too good for him and his ex-wife and the kids. But I think he'll be okay. I think he's very knowledgeable, of course. The question is, can he translate into letting the viewers in on his knowledge, right? And you're right, Doug. It isn't as easy as everyone thinks, but I think in the end, Tom will be fine, and they'll have their new number 1 analyst. All right, last one real quick, guys. Rank in order based on excitement level these NFL offseason days. Combine, free agency, draft, schedule release.
Okay, roster construction. That stuff to me is fascinating. So number 1 is draft. Number 2 is free agency. Number 3 is combine. And number 4 is schedule release, which, by the way, the schedule release is being ruined by all the leaks. Honestly, it's like watching the draft and someone tells you what the pick's going to be before the pick is in.
Thanks,
Don't
Rico.
ruin it. Don't ruin it. And the schedule release stuff has lost a lot of sizzle because, honestly, the whole Lions schedule was out yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I'm with you, Doug. I hate that part of the schedule, and I actually ranked it the same way. Draft, free agency, combine, and schedule release. But they have got to put a stop to these leaks.
I got draft, free agency, schedule, then combine. I used to love the combine, but to me now guys aren't participating as much anymore. They're waiting for their pro days. To me, the schedule release is big now because the Lions are good now. I want to know how many night games they got.
And there it is. That concludes the Wide 9 Omaha 4 Down Around the League Blitz thingy.